I am running to be president for all of America.
I believe Donald Trump will ultimately go down in history as America's great unifier.
America First includes all Americans. Trump is actually the president who will unite this country, actually. And we don't talk about that enough.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and I thought Donald Trump was going to be the great unifier. Remember all that talk about bringing America together? And yet here we are, 2024, and his biggest cheerleader, Marge the Trainwreck Greene, is out here pushing for a national divorce.
There is no unity. There's no unity because they don't want unity with us. These people are plotting war against us like never before. Do you think Democrats are going to go, oh, good game, guys, shake hands, good game, we'll get you again and we'll come back after you in 4 more years? We know our enemy.
Not just that, but she's on Steve Bannon's show openly admitting their plans to gut federal agencies and rip them to shreds. It's not even subtle anymore. They're telling us exactly what they're going to do.
And we go in every single agency and we are going to gut them and rip them to shreds. There is no apologies. There is no reset. There is no unity. There's no unity because they don't want unity with us. They don't agree with this unity. They are lying. Right now they're trying to figure out, they're gaming out what they're going to do, but they're embedding their people in as tight as they can, while they're trying to be like, play a little nicey nice to people like me. Like, oh, hey, Marjorie. I'm like, why are you saying hey to me? You've never talked to me before ever in your life.
Marge the Trainwreck Greene, she's not even trying to hide it, straight up admitted on his show that the plan is to dismantle these agencies, shred every document, burn every file. She's sitting there talking about some massive cover-up happening right now. According to her, the State Department and the Pentagon are shredding papers and lighting dumpster fires. And what's their solution? Gut the whole system.
We're going to fight for it, but you know they've got it covered up. I guarantee you right now, there is the biggest paper shredding, file deleting, dumpster fire burning going on in every single department, especially in the Pentagon and the State Department. They are covering up as much as they possibly can. Guaranteed it's happening. Number one, it's attitude and mindset. And the attitude and mindset is you don't let off the gas, you push that gas pedal down harder. I'm not kidding. It's pedal to the metal.
Destroy it. This isn't governing, folks. This is chaos. And Bannon, with his Jesus poster in the background, is just eating it up. They're not even pretending anymore. They're actively plotting destruction while claiming to save America. And it's not just words. They're using fear and lies to stir chaos on the ground. Let's talk about Aurora, Colorado. You had right-wing media out here spreading absolute garbage, saying the town was overrun by migrants, that violent gangs were committing atrocities. None of it was accurate, but the damage was done. It caused such a furor that motorcycle groups showed up in town looking for trouble. Imagine that. Outside agitators rolling into your community, ready to stir the pot, all because of lies spread by people like J.D. Vance and Trump's allies. This is kind of chaos that we're dealing with. Now let's look at the flip side, the people fighting back. Folks, thank God for governors like Jared Polis and J.B. Pritzker. They're not sitting back and letting this madness take over. Governor Polis said it best. If federal agents are coming in to deport violent criminals, then yes, we'll support that. That's what law enforcement should do. But if they're targeting our agricultural workers, ripping apart families, and coming into the schools to indiscriminately deport people, no, absolutely not. He said that hurts our economy. It hurts our neighbors, and he's right. These are people who've been living peacefully, contributing to their communities for years. Deporting them doesn't make us safer. It destroys families and livelihoods. And this isn't just one governor standing alone. Governors like Polis and Pritzker are working together to fight back against these policies. They've formed a council to share ideas and push back on what Trump's allies are trying to do. They know what's at stake. Pritzker put it bluntly, this isn't knee-jerk. This is about protecting our states from policies that dismantle public health and education. They're not waiting for Trump to implement chaos. They're preparing for it now. While governors are organizing resistance, let's look at what Trump's doing. He's lining up unqualified sycophants to crash the system. Take Pete Hegseth, a Fox News guy with no real military leadership experience. Trump wants him to oversee 3 million people. Then there's Matt Gaetz, under investigation for child sex trafficking, being floated as Attorney General. Folks, Gaetz wouldn't be the lawyer for the country. He'd be Trump's personal hitman, squashing any investigation into Trump's crimes. And let's not forget Tulsi Gabbard, who's had meetings with Assad and Putin. People are seriously questioning where her loyalties lie, and rightfully so. This is the game plan, plain and simple. Gut the agencies, fire the career public servants, and replace them with loyalists. That's Project 2025 in a nutshell. Trump doesn't want government to work. He wants it to serve him. And he's got people like Bannon and Marjorie Taylor Greene cheerleading the destruction. It's not about making America great. It's about consolidating power and silencing dissent. And then we've got Marge, the Trainwreck Greene, trying to pick a fight with Mark Cuban.
Okay, guys, check this out. First, we have Joe Biden calling all of us garbage. Now Mark Cuban has come out and said that there's no strong, intelligent women supporting Trump. Wait, hang on. I got to fit in this set.
Cuban called out Trump supporters, saying there aren't any strong, intelligent women in the movement. And what does Marge do? She jumps up in her garage, starts doing chin-ups, and insults Cuban's testosterone levels.
Here's the problem with Mark Cuban. He suffers from low testosterone. The guy looks just like Rachel Maddow. And here's his issue. He's actually intimidated by strong, intelligent women like me. Graduated from UGA with a business degree. I run a very successful construction company in Georgia. And now I'm going on my 3rd term in Congress. I love guns, especially AR-15s, and I support President Trump. Mark, I suggest you get some HRT and hit the gym.
I mean, come on. She's out here looking like a hyped up Mountain Dew drinking swamp monster, climbed like a 3-toed sloth, bad blonde, dye job and all, calling him weak. This isn't leadership, folks. It's not even respectable opposition. It's a circus act. It's embarrassing to see someone with this level of absurdity be a prominent voice in American politics. And while she's busy picking fights and flexing her butch bravado, the rest of the country is dealing with real issues. Issues she and her crew are actively making worse. And let's not forget how they've weaponized religion to sell this nonsense. You've got televangelists putting their hands on Donald Trump, calling him the chosen one, the way, the truth, and the light. They've convinced their congregations that Kamala Harris's plans are satanic rituals, while Trump is some kind of messiah. And all of this is to fire up their base, not for faith, but for politics. It's all about the offering plate, folks. It's about money and control. This ties into the attack on education. In states like Oklahoma, ranked 49th in the country for education, they're more focused on pushing Bible teachings in school than actually teaching critical thinking. And let me tell you something, folks. This isn't education. This is indoctrination. It's the same kind of system you see in countries where the Quran is the only textbook. They want kids to be just educated enough to believe what they're told, but not enough to question it. And when you take away critical thinking, you take away the ability to challenge power. And that's their goal. So let's be clear. Trump isn't trying to govern. He's trying to destroy. He wants retribution. Every decision he makes, every person he appoints, it's all about tearing down institutions and punishing his enemies. And if you think this is just rhetoric, remember his negotiations with the Taliban, where he released 5,000 fighters without consulting Afghanistan's government. This is the kind of reckless, destructive decision-making we're dealing with. And now he wants to court-martial military leaders for carrying out his own disastrous plans. So here's where we are. Trump and his allies are openly admitting their plans to dismantle democracy. They're telling us exactly what they're going to do. Meanwhile, governors like Paulus and Pritzker are doing everything they can to resist. But it's not enough to rely on them. We need to stay vigilant. We need to fight back. Because make no mistake, if Trump gets his way, it's not just agencies that will be gutted. It's the very fabric of our democracy. Folks, remember this. Remember what Marge said on Steve Bannon's show. They're going to rip agencies to shreds. They're going to deport your neighbors. They're going to crash the system. And when it happens, every politician who ran on Trump will own it. So when the economy tanks, when public health crumbles, and when chaos reigns, don't let them off the hook. Hold them accountable. Because this fight isn't just about 2024. It's about the future of this country. And that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.